Hi, welcome to Variety Tech Today. Today we're going to be reviewing the Lume Pad. I'm actually not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Lume? Lume? I don't know, but anyway, it's from Leia, which is the maker of the Red Hydrogen 1 3D cell phone, and this is the 3D tablet, 10 inches of glorious 3D. Came packaged very safely. I actually thought this was just a very high quality piece of packing material, but it's actually a protective case for travel. It also has very high quality packaging inside, including a protective covering and a shiny thank you note. And of course you get the charger, the cord, quick start instructions, and an adapter. So this is it. Pretty, huh? I got the champagne beige version, which was a more limited quantity color. Now, while this is pricier than entry-level tablets, the price isn't too bad actually considering the specs, because you get 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. So that lowers the relative premium that you're paying for the 3D experience. It also has a 7760 mAh battery, so you've got long battery life even if you want to use it on bright settings, and it also supports fast charging through USB-C. Now when you first get this, you'll get a paper notice, as well as when you go into the settings after it's started up, a notice that there's a new version available, so you'll want to update to the latest firmware and software versions. I did try using it before updating, and it wouldn't let me sign into my Google account on the various Leia apps. It always would have an error message pop up, so the updates fix that, I guess, among other things. Devices often have an opening logo that you see when you first turn it on, and in this case, you see the Lume Pad logo, if I'm pronouncing that right. And right away it showcases that logo in 3D. One thing you'll notice is that when it's in 3D, the resolution is noticeably lower. You can see the pixels, and this is more apparent when you're looking at text. But when you're viewing 3D items, this usually isn't a problem because text isn't usually a part of that. And when you're viewing pictures and videos, the resolution is lower, but it's not really something that I noticed much. The Leia Gallery app, which lets you view images and videos, has preloaded content, some of which were also available on the Red Hydrogen 1, but it also has some new stuff. One of the ways you can take 3D videos without a 3D camera and view them on this tablet is by using the rotation or panning method. It's similar to Pulfric 3D, which I talked about in another video, but in this case, their software processes it to turn sideways movement or rotational movement into a three-dimensional video. And they have examples of this, some of which are very stunning. You can also see that they're trying to market this to businesses as something to attract customers or to engage them and to show them products in 3D. Now when you're watching the videos, one thing you'll notice is that the sound is amazing. They could have said, oh, we've got this 3D gimmick. Not that I think 3D is a gimmick, it isn't. But they could have said, we've got this 3D, let's just skimp on the audio, no one will notice. Well, thank goodness they didn't, because the audio is astounding. They did this on the Red Hydrogen 1 as well. It has 2 big stereo speakers on the sides, so when you're watching something, you've got this great spatial audio. And the tablet does this as well. It has speakers on the sides, but they're even better. than the red hydrogen one. They have great bass and richness of quality. So you can actually watch your 3D movies if you want to rip your 3D Blu-rays or acquire them some other way legally. Um, you can watch your 3D movies on your 3D tablet and have great toned down theatrical sound. And you'll notice in the task tray and the options near there that this is actually sound that's processed by Dolby Atmos.
It's you. You're gonna get me in trouble, Dante. Someone could hear me. I wish someone wanted to hear me. Other than you. I know I'm not supposed to love music. No music!
Leia calls their formatting of images and videos as 4V, which is short for 4View. It's basically when you have a 3D image or video, you have an image for your left eye and an image for your right eye. So what they do is they take those, create an automatic depth map from that, and then create two other views as well. So you got a total of 4, so you can move your head a little bit and keep a stereo view. When you've got native 4V content, as in 4 discrete true views of a subject, then that works a little better. But with stereo content converted to 4V, it's not always consistent. It does reduce the depth effect often, sometimes a little bit, sometimes a lot. Sometimes it introduces errors. But what's great is that because it's variable and sometimes it can work better to use the 4V version, if, for instance, if there's too much depth or otherwise, it gives you the option to switch between 4V and ST, I guess that's short for stereo, which was the original 3D image with no distortions. So if you're watching 3D videos and images by yourself on your tablet, honestly, I would just go with stereo. And even if you are viewing with somebody else, there's multiple views of stereo. You can see it from another angle, as long as you don't get the inverted view. And by the way, 4V doesn't prevent inversion either. There is still a narrow sweet spot with 4V. So it's not like that solves all the problems and it's a true hologram. No, it still has just a few locked viewpoints and you can still get inverted depth at the wrong angle. But honestly, if you're looking head on like most any user will be, then it's no problem, because then you're seeing it the way it should be seen. There's also a new app called Leia Frame. This allows you to use this as a 3D picture frame. There are settings where you can have it automatically go into frame mode when it's charging, and it scrolls between the photos that you select for it to show, and it has pleasing dissolve transitions between them. And then there's an interesting use for this technology. It's called Leia Viewer. Here you can view three-dimensional computer models. You can rotate them, adjust various aspects of them, such as the amount of parallax or depth, the lighting, the depth, focus of field, blur, view it in wireframe or in various other textures. And better yet, now you can integrate it at the touch of a button with Sketchfab, which has a library of many 3D models of all types. So if you're someone who's into designing your own 3D models or collecting those of others, this would be a lot of fun for you, because it's the only easy way I know of to actually quickly view all these models stereoscopically. Zoom in, rotate, explore. This also has an app aimed at medical professionals. There's a format that I didn't know about before now called DICOM that allows you to look at x-rays or even three-dimensional x-rays, I believe, and you can view it stereoscopically on the screen. There's an app for that pre-installed. However, I wasn't able to find any DICOM files to actually view on it. I tried, but it's pretty hard to find. So I can't say firsthand how that actually works. There are also loads and loads of games of literally all types that you can play in beautiful 3D. From casual games, strategy, action, and more, even car racing. And then there's another cool new app, Leia Stream. At first, it might seem that this is like a 3D version of YouTube. However, when you're trying to upload your content, a message pops up saying to upload content, visit leiastream.com from your desktop browser. So you can't actually upload from your 3D device, even though you can film in 3D on it. I'm quite sure this will be addressed in a future release because that seems pretty impractical to have to transfer to your computer and then upload from there. And then once you do upload, it's not actually uploaded right away. It has to be approved first. It's nice though, you don't only have to upload files from your Leia camera app. 3D content is 3D content. It hasn't really changed in the past over 100 years. So you can upload any 3D content with not only 4-view native, but also standard left and right 2-view. You just have to make sure that the videos you do upload are named properly. They have to have a certain file naming system at the end that dictates not only how many views, but also in some cases the width, whether it's full width or half width. And you can find how to properly name your files on the Leia forums online. So you'll find other 3D content there too, like Disney demo reels from their movies, as well as demo reels from LG's 3D TVs back in the day. And I'm going to recommend one video. It's super powerful. It's called LG Petals or something like that. But you'll see it's flower petals with oriental women. It was from a LG 3D TV demo. But the 3D on that, and when viewing it on this tablet, this 10-inch screen, in glasses free, it's just mind-blowing. The 3D is like in your face, deep, petals and floating in front of you. Yeah, it's super powerful and it's a great experience on this tablet. So just search for LG Petals if you're viewing on Leia Stream, and that's awesome experience and a great showpiece for how the tablet works. Speaking of Leia Stream, I wanted to use it on the Red Hydrogen 1. Unfortunately, since this phone isn't being officially supported anymore, there aren't any guarantees of compatibility, and the conduit app by which you can gain access to Leia's official apps, the Leia Loft Store, is acting pretty buggy, at least on my device. I can't access it always, and I definitely can't download the latest apps made for the Lume Pad. So what I did was installed an Android app from the Google Play Store that allows you to extract any app as an APK, and then I transferred that APK to my phone. I did this with several of Leia's new apps. Not all of them worked, but thankfully Leia Stream did. It works just fine with the Red Hydrogen one, and you can stream all the videos, and they look great. So, I mentioned the camera earlier. How did that turn out? Well, you'll notice that it has pretty much the same stereo baseline, or the width between lenses, as the Red Hydrogen one. And the size of the lenses themselves are pretty much the same, maybe slightly smaller on the tablet. Now the Red Hydrogen 1 had standard camera settings that you would expect, such as resolutions, frame rates, even bit rates. However, those mostly applied to 2D images and video, as 3D was locked to 1080p full resolution at 30 frames a second, and stills were locked to 4K or 2160p. The tablet has the option to record 2D videos, but there's not much beyond that. I mean, you get Flash, with the update, you get the option to add a grid to it, but you don't get all those options and settings, at least not yet. The 3D videos it records are still full HD, full width. However, they have the odd resolution of being 1200 in vertical resolution, which is a little bit more than 1080. Not sure why, but I mean, it's not a huge difference. And also the 3D stills get a little bit higher resolution. Instead of 2160p, you get 2842 vertical resolution. It has a flash, but it doesn't work that well from my experience in close proximity. I tried it even several feet away, and it would just wash everything out. Even when I tried clicking it first to focus, and that preview I got before the picture was actually snapped looked good with the flash on, but the actual picture taken was just washed out. So from a distance it can look better, but otherwise don't use the flash if you don't have to, I guess. If you're using the light for shooting video, that works better. That will give you a chance to focus. Uh, that will give you a chance to focus properly on your subjects. A couple other differences I found out were that the tablet does not have the 3D selfie cam that the Red Hydrogen 1 does. Uh, this was fun. It had a vertical orientation 3D camera and landscape for the rear camera, but this just has the landscape rear 3D camera. However, with the tablet, you also can still view 3D in either landscape or vertical. Another thing is that with the tablet, you don't get a live 3D preview of what you're about to photograph or video, such as you did with the Red Hydrogen 1. You take the picture, and stills are by default in 3D. There is no other option, at least at this point. And then it'll say, making the magic happen, and then you'll get to see the 3D version in the gallery. So, obviously the Red Hydrogen 1 is a clear winner in the camera area. However, that's not bound to be the case perpetually, as on one of the forums it was mentioned that image stabilization would be added to the tablet. And that's great because the Red Hydrogen 1 never had that, and that's a big deal when you're filming by hand. A couple other suggestions I would have is that they could add more camera settings such as resolutions, bit rates, and frame rates too. That would be nice to record slow-mo 3D videos. That would be awesome. It would also be nice if they took a note from Rocket, who makes 3D phones, and they add a 3D services, or whatever you want to call it, setting that enables you to view content in side-by-side or over-under format with the push of a button. For instance, images you see on a website, or a big deal would be YouTube 3D, because a lot of those are in side-by-side 3D, and it may not always be marked as 3D, and it's definitely not going to play automatically in 3D on this tablet. So outside of having to download it and rename the file for every 3D video, that would be a great thing to have, and it sounds like something that would be very feasible and purely a software issue. Alright, now for some camera tests. I'm actually filming this with the Red Hydrogen 1 Selfie Cam, just so you can see what that looks like. Hello. Yeah, it has a very narrow interaxial, but I think that's kind of cool actually. You can get up close and still get usable depth and vertical orientation. Anyway, we're talking about the tablet today. So I'm going to show you actually a couple comparisons. I'm going to show you 3D pictures and videos from both the Red Hydrogen 1 and the tablet of the same scene, a snowfall that is happening as we speak. There's another issue that the Red Hydrogen 1 camera had that I can only best describe as a focusing issue. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's clearly demonstrated in the following video, which I took. So you'll see that even in bright, ideal, still conditions, it still winces in and out. It's like it's squinting, and it just constantly does it. So anyway, I'm going to test the Lume Cam app on the tablet and see if it still has that issue or not. Alright, right now I'm filming with the tablet. You can also compare the quality of the video itself to see if it's any different. Now let's try that focusing issue. Yep, sure enough. Does the same thing. So, this was a lot of fun playing with, but is it worth the price? Well, honestly, that depends on you. Are you in the market for a tablet already? Well, then the price really isn't that bad if you want a higher end tablet anyway. Don't buy an iPad. Those stupid, expensive, incompatible iPads. Oh, sorry if you like them. Sorry. Yeah, go for this. You'll get high-end specs as well as this great 3D experience, and you'll have your tablet anyway. Otherwise, I'm not so sure. For me, I do prefer the Red Hydrogen 1. Sure, there is something about having that big screen 3D experience, but there's also something special, and I really felt it after going back to my phone, about having this in your pocket all the time. There's something about practicality of that that's invaluable. Especially as a 3D photographer and videographer, being able to snap that 3D moment anytime, anywhere is something that's really worth it to me. So, Alea said that they're trying to branch out into other products, such as automotive 3D screens. I'm not sure what else, but I hope they consider releasing another phone in the future. Because this is good for now, but there will be some time, hopefully not too soon from now, that it will be incompatible with the latest software, with the latest Android software and apps. Hope that day doesn't come too soon, because there is no other good 3D camera phone, period. And if they were to release another one, especially one with improved camera specs such as are likely will be coming to the tablet, I'd be all over that. So yeah, please consider it. And hopefully the tablet does well and will allow further innovations in the future.